Welcome to This Explainer. Listen, if you're running an e-commerce business, you absolutely know the pain of watching your hard-earned revenue literally just walk out the digital door. I mean, we're talking about folks adding items to their carts. Maybe it's that $100 pair of running shoes or a premium software sub, and then, poof, they vanish. But what if I told you there's a fully automated way to win them back? Today, we're diving deep into the complete guide to e-commerce cart recovery email automation.
Okay, let's dive into this, because we need a fundamental mindset shift right out of the gate. An abandoned cart does not always mean a lost customer. I know, we tend to think of these shoppers as flaky, but honestly, they're really just distracted humans doing human things. They aren't gone forever. They usually just need a little nudge.
So, to get those folks back, we're going to follow a 5-part blueprint today. We'll start with the abandoned cart reality, then look at why shoppers leave, break down the 3 email recovery sequence, jump into designing high-converting emails, and finally wrap up with measuring and maximizing success.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, the abandoned cart reality, and how we actually reframe that lost sale.
Now, what's really interesting about this is the sheer volume we're dealing with. Every single day, across the entire internet, literally millions of shoppers add products to their carts and then just bail before checking out. Millions. And that massive scale is exactly where email cart recovery steps in. It's an automated marketing strategy designed specifically to re-engage those exact people. But here's the crucial takeaway. Our goal here isn't to pressure anyone. The goal is simply to remind them, maybe answer some lingering questions, and make hitting that buy button as frictionless as possible.
Check out the elegant simplicity of how this actually flows. Step 1, the customer drops by and adds some products to their cart. Step 2, they bounce without buying. But here is where the absolute magic happens. Step 3, your automated recovery emails trigger automatically in the background. And boom, step 4, they come back and complete the purchase. Seriously, once you set this whole loop up, it works tirelessly behind the scenes. It's like a secret weapon for grabbing back that lost revenue.
Moving on to Section 2, let's talk about why shoppers leave and really build some empathy for the distracted buyer.
Look, before we can fix the leak, we have to understand why the pipe burst in the first place, right? What's the psychology here? Well, unexpected costs are a huge one. Sudden shipping fees or taxes pop up, and they're gone. Or maybe they're just doing some price comparison shopping. Then you've got everyday life distractions. A phone call rings, the dog barks, a text comes through. You also have trust concerns. Maybe they didn't see enough reviews, or the checkout didn't look secure. Speaking of checkout, complexity is a massive conversion killer. Nobody, and I mean nobody, wants to fill out a confusing 5-page form. And hey, sometimes they just aren't ready to pull the trigger yet. As a business owner, yeah, it's incredibly frustrating. But notice what is conspicuously missing from this list. They didn't leave because they hate your product. Not at all.
So, the crucial point you've got to remember is this. Cart abandoners have extremely high buying intent. Think about the journey they just took on your site. They browsed, they picked a specific item, put it in their cart, and started checking out. That means they are so much closer to actually buying than cold traffic who just landed on your homepage for the very first time. And that is exactly why recovering these specific warm leads boasts such incredible ROI. It is significantly cheaper to bring these folks back than to go out and buy completely new visitors.
Which brings us right to Section 3, the 3 email recovery sequence. This is your actionable blueprint.
And this brilliantly illustrates the core overarching strategy. It all revolves around 3 specific touchpoints. Email 1 is your friendly reminder, just jogging their memory. Email 2 turns up the heat a bit by adding value to reduce any hesitation. And then Email 3 introduces urgency to encourage an immediate decision. This rule of 3 is amazingly powerful. Let's break down exactly what goes into each one.
Okay, Email 1. This is your friendly, helpful reminder. Keep the tone super simple and helpful. You absolutely want to feature a clear, crisp image of the product they left behind, along with a big direct link right back to their cart. Honestly, a gentle nudge with a subject line like, "Hey, your cart is waiting for you," or "Oops, did something go wrong?" is often literally all it takes to close the loop before life distracts them again.
But, what if they don't buy it on the first try? That is when Email 2 kicks in. This is the value email. At this stage, they clearly need a stronger reason to return, so we escalate the offer. You might reiterate the product's main benefits or drop in some glowing customer testimonials to build up that social proof. Or, if it fits your margins, sweeten the deal with a discount offer or maybe free shipping. You want them opening this and thinking, okay, wow, I really need to finish this order right now.
And if they are still holding out, we hit them with Email 3, the urgency email. The primary goal here is to force a decision right now.
You can highlight limited stock, remind them of an expiring sale, or just frame it as a final warning that their cart is about to be cleared. Subject lines like "Your cart expires in 2 hours" or "Last chance" work absolute wonders here. Genuine urgency stops the procrastination and finalizes that recovery effort.
All right, let's transition into Section 4, designing high-converting emails. Let's look at execution and best practices.
So we have the sequence down, but let's be real, execution is everything. Let's look at what winning brands are doing right versus the critical errors that will just tank your whole sequence. For best practices, you've got to personalize it with their name. Show visual reminders of the product. Use big, strong call-to-action buttons like "Claim My Discount." And absolutely, you must optimize for mobile, because let's face it, that's where everybody is reading their emails. On the flip side, what are the common mistakes? Well, sending way too many emails and annoying them, using tricky or misleading subject lines, and, like I just mentioned, completely ignoring how the email looks on a smartphone. Don't do that.
Now, for those of you who already have the basics down and want to really supercharge your setup, here are a few advanced strategies. Try using dynamic product recommendations to suggest other items they might love. You could segment your audience so your messaging is highly tailored. How about offering personalized discounts based on what they actually looked at? Or even mixing in an SMS text follow-up. Throwing in exit intent pop-ups on the site itself, or offering loyalty rewards for completing the purchase, these are all fantastic ways to take your recovery game to the absolute next level.
Let's wrap up with Section 5, measuring and maximizing success, and tracking that long-term growth.
Remember, any system is really only as good as the data you measure to improve it. Think about the giant pie of your totally abandoned carts. Even if the slice of successfully recovered revenue seems small at first glance, recovering just that tiny fraction can drastically alter your overall monthly profit margins. And why is that? Because you didn't have to spend a single extra penny on advertising to get it. That is pure recovered value dropping straight to your bottom line. So, to guarantee that consistent sales growth, these are the exact metrics you need to be glued to in your dashboard. Watch your open rate. That tells you if your subject lines are actually grabbing attention. Keep an eye on the click rate to see if your design and buttons are doing their job. Your conversion rate is the big one, telling you how many folks actually finish buying. And of course, track the total revenue recovered along with your overall recovery percentage. If you keep a close eye on these KPIs, you can constantly tweak, test, and perfect your entire sequence.
Which brings us to our final takeaway and a pretty big question. Your automation works around the clock. So, are you ready to recover your revenue? Look, the absolute best part of email cart recovery is that once you set it up, the thing literally never sleeps. It's out there 24/7, gently reminding your distracted shoppers, offering them value, building genuine urgency, and saving your hard-earned sales, all while you get to focus on actually growing your business. You've got the blueprint now. You know exactly why they leave and precisely how to bring them back. So, what are you waiting for? Get out there and implement these changes today. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I will catch you in the next one.